Jesse Livermore could read the market better than almost anyone alive. He knew setups, he knew patterns, he knew when big money was moving, and he still blew up, not because his analysis was wrong, because he couldn't sit still. Most traders think patience means waiting, but here's what they miss. Waiting without preparation is just pressure building up. And when the pressure gets loud enough, you don't trade your setup, you trade your discomfort. That's not a discipline problem. That's your nervous system doing exactly what it was built to do. And until you understand that mechanism, no system, no strategy, no rule will save you. In this video, I'm going to show you what Livermore finally figured out, not how to wait longer, how to see clearer. Because when you see clearly, patience stops being something you force. It becomes something you simply have. Here's what nobody tells you when you start trading. Your brain is not built for this, not because you're not smart enough, but because your brain was built to survive. Thousands of years ago, stillness meant danger. If you weren't moving, something was hunting you. Action meant safety. Doing nothing meant death. That wiring is still inside you. So when you sit in front of a chart, watching candles form, watching price move without you, your brain starts to panic. Do something. Get in. You're missing it. That's not discipline failing you. That's your nervous system doing exactly what it was built to do, protect you from the threat of being left behind. And so you enter, not because the setup is there, but because the pressure is unbearable. You enter on a weak signal. You chase a breakout that already ran. You double down on a losing trade because holding cash feels like losing. And then the market punishes you, and you tell yourself, I need more discipline. But that's the wrong diagnosis. Discipline isn't the problem, the trigger is the problem. You're not reacting to the market. You're reacting to the discomfort of doing nothing. Now stop for a moment. Think about the last time you took a bad trade, not a trade that lost, a bad trade. The kind where, if you're honest with yourself, you knew it wasn't ready. You knew the setup was weak, but something inside pushed you in anyway. What was that something? It wasn't greed. Not exactly. It was a feeling, a sensation, tightness in the chest, a whisper that said you're falling behind. Everyone else is trading, why aren't you? And you listened to that whisper because it felt like you. Like it was your thought, your decision. But here's what I want you to see. That feeling was not you. It was a reaction arising inside you. There's a difference. You are not the fear. You are the one who can observe the fear. You are not the urge to trade. You are the one who can notice the urge. Price moves. A sensation appears in your body. A thought urges action. None of that is you making a decision. That's your nervous system running an old program. And the moment you see it clearly, the moment you observe it instead of becoming it, something shifts. The pressure softens, the urgency fades, and you're back in control. Jesse Livermore understood this, not in the language we use today, but he lived it. He said the biggest enemy of the trader is not the market, it's the trader himself, the need for action, the need to feel alive in the trade. He watched men destroy themselves not from bad analysis, but from the inability to sit still, to wait, to do nothing when nothing was the right thing to do. And he said something that sounds almost impossible. The money is made in the waiting, not the trading, the waiting. But here's where most people misread that. They think waiting means passive. Sitting back, zoning out, hoping something good appears. That's not waiting, that's avoidance. Real waiting is active. Real waiting is preparation. When Livermore was not in a trade, he was working. Watching how stocks behaved at key levels, marking where buyers stepped in and where they disappeared, learning the rhythm of the market. So when the real setup arrived, he didn't hesitate. He didn't second guess. He struck, because he had done the work in the silence. That's the difference. Waiting without preparation is just boredom. Waiting with preparation is your competitive edge. Now let's talk about something that will feel uncomfortable. Position size. Most traders treat size as just risk management, A number, a formula, a percentage of account, but it's more than that. Size is the dial that controls how clearly you can see. When your size is too big, you can't see anything. All you feel is the pain of every tick moving against you. Your chest tightens. Your breath shortens. You're not trading anymore. You're surviving. And survival mode closes the part of your brain that makes good decisions. But when your size is small, something opens up. You can breathe. You can watch the market instead of fighting it. You can observe your own reactions without being controlled by them. Small size is not weakness. Small size is the laboratory where you train your mind to see clearly. I know what some of you are thinking. This feels too slow. Other traders are making real money. This approach is for people who are afraid to commit. That thought is not your ambition talking. That's your ego. And your ego has cost you more money than any bad trade ever did. Because the ego wants proof. Right now, it wants to feel like it's doing something. Sitting in cash feels like losing. Skipping a weak setup feels like missing out. Watching the market move without you feels unbearable. But every time you fold a weak hand to protect your capital, you're not shrinking. You're removing distortion. You're keeping the lens clean. So when the real opportunity arrives, you can actually see it. Here's the new definition of success I want you to consider. Not the biggest return, not the perfect call. Success is, did you wait for your setup? Did you execute without hesitation when it arrived? Did you follow your plan instead of your feelings? That's a winning trade, even if it loses money. Because the market is probabilistic, no single trade defines you, but your process over 100 trades that defines everything. And here's the final piece. When you stop taking the market personally, when a loss is just information, not an attack, when missing a move is just part of the game, not a failure, the market stops feeling like a threat. And your nervous system relaxes, and you start to see clearly. You notice the setup forming without rushing toward it. You let it develop without forcing it. You enter when the conditions are right, not when the pressure is unbearable. That is what Livermore meant by patience. Not waiting passively, not hoping, observing clearly, preparing quietly. Striking precisely. You are not the trader who chases every move. You are the one who watches most of them pass, and waits, and prepares. And when the moment comes, you already know exactly what to do because you were ready. That's not patience, that's power. If this shifted something in how you think about trading, stay with that feeling. Don't rush to the next video. Sit with it. Because that ability to sit with something, without needing to immediately act on it, that's already the beginning of the edge.